your boogeyman. That's what I am. I'm here to do.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about The Boogeyman. This is based off the short story by Stephen King and directed by Rob Savage, as we follow the story of a grieving teenager and her younger sister who are plagued by a sadistic presence in their own home as they struggle to get their father to pay attention before it's too late. So my introduction to director Rob Savage started out with watching some of the interviews with Chris Stuckman, and Chris Stuckman is one of my favorite YouTube movie reviewers and potential filmmaker, and he really talked up about this one particular found footage film that blew up over the course of quarantine shutdown, and that was a movie called The Host, and it's like under an hour, and I really enjoyed it. It was kind of in the same realm of Unfriended, but executed just a little bit better. I mean, I know some people might think different, but I like that movie a lot more than the second feature that Rob Savage directed, which was Dashcam, which was also found footage. But you can tell that he had so much talent behind the camera, so much love for the horror genre, that I was quite proud to hear that he was tackling a movie that was in the big budget range from a big studio beyond the confines of being a found footage film again. Now, for those of you who have seen The Host and got to see Boogeyman already, did anybody notice the surprise cameo? Anybody? At the beginning of the year, we had Megan, and now we have The Boogeyman. Good PG-13 movies are now making a comeback. I am so happy for it. I mean, I grew up kind of looking at PG-13 horror movies, and they were always like a little dime a dozen. There were always like a few really good ones and a lot of shitty ones. And when I first heard that The Boogeyman was getting made, I thought, don't tell me that they're remaking that shitty 2005 movie where Barry Watson, the kid from Seventh Heaven, counts to 10 like 1,000 times. But thankfully, no, it wasn't. This is based off the short story by Stephen King, in which I did not read, but I am more than curious now to check out the original source material and see how both the movie and the short story differ. Now, the answer to the question that everyone always asks me when it comes down to watching a horror movie that's not part of a big ongoing franchise is, was it scary? And if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to answer with, it was creepy. And I think it's because of watching the trailer way too many times, especially the second trailer, kind of softened the blow on the more key jump scares for me. And it's not necessarily a complete loss. It's just that there are some crafty elements in the way that they present the boogeyman, and also the way that it hides in the shadows and in the darkness, and what it's also capable of doing. One of my favorite things, and the things that really got under my skin, was how the boogeyman. Okay, that's a spoiler, but without spoiling it, it's going to be the way that your auditorium is going to utilize those surround sound speakers. You get what I'm saying? Speaking about the presentation of the boogeyman, I really like how they kind of hid the full look of the monster in the shadows, in the darkness. You get a few quick glimpses of it here and there, and there's just nothing but like the eyes, the glowing eyes that you can see in the darkness, to send just chills down your spine. And when we finally get to the full look, the full reveal of what this entire thing looks like from top to bottom, I was a little bit 50-50. So for those of you who don't know, the writers of A Quiet Place and the producers of Stranger Things were involved in this movie. They had their hands in the cookie jar and everything, and through the creature designs, it really shows at how much cookies they got, if you catch my drift. Now, because this movie was slightly reminiscent to David F. Sandberg's Lights Out, I was kind of missing the more human-like physique and rendition of the boogeyman, which is subjective. I think Lights Out kind of fucked me up with its more bombastic, straightforward scares, where this movie kind of approaches the terror with a little bit slower and gradual build in the suspense. That method was still effective because there were some heart-stopping moments that really tapped into my fears of the dark, like the corners of my room, things that go bump in the night, and an ajar closet door. Surprised that this wasn't your typical thrill-a-minute horror movie, I really admired at how the family drama and character development was very center-focused for this story. The family has gone through a loss of a loved one, and the narrative does a really good job at really exercising at how others process grief differently. Even this evil entity is kind of a reflection on what it's like if emotions were very easily dismissed and not properly taken care of. Now, I've never seen anything in this actress's filmography prior to the movie, but I love Sophie Thatcher. I thought her performance as the lead was incredible, especially with her emotional and more somber beats that really give her a chance to shine. I like that her characterization as a teenager who's grieving is not angsty and wants to shut out the world. She really wants to communicate, but she is just struggling to reach out. And I also like the dynamic she has with her younger sister. Vivian Lyra Blair plays Thatcher's younger sister. You also might recognize her from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series as young Princess Leia, and she continues to be a scene stealer. Although she has several frightening moments with the boogeyman, she somehow manages to dish out some of the most natural and wholesome humor that I just could not get enough of. And especially with the way that there's even the first scene with her that she ends up seeing an open closet door, and instead of just walking up towards it investigating it, she kick rolls her little moonlight to illuminate the doorway just to confirm that there wasn't something hiding there. What a smart girl. Chris Messina also does a really great job here. He plays the father of both girls. He's a therapist who always has to have a rational mind, and deep down he wants to be vulnerable, but he struggles to keep his emotions as solid as a rock in the wrong places. We also got David Dastmalchian, and I kind of wish from the looks of the trailer that he was going to have a more prominent role instead of just kind of a plot device to usher along the movie. If anything, I just kind of wish that he really played up his role a little more unhinged. Overall, if this movie does well to warrant a sequel, they're gonna have to explore the mythology of the boogeyman, or else we could get into some kind of thing like a Monsters Inc. type of situation where we can go behind the closet door and see how this boogeyman travels, or maybe it could time travel, or just jump different dimensions, or maybe there's a world with many or even more boogeymen. I don't know. My brain's just going off on different ideas because, there's just so much potential and so much possibilities. Now, this movie may have not been terrifying enough to give me nightmares, but you can damn well guarantee that I'm sleeping with the nightlight on, baby. Alright, guys, that's all I got to say about that movie. Go ahead and check it out. Support it. We need more good PG-13 horror movies back in the game. I mean, last year we had a shitload of horror movies, but all of them were rated R. We need something for the teenagers. We need new horror fans. Alright, guys, thank you again so much for watching. I'm Jaren Ugbanawag. Look forward to more reviews, and I will see you guys at the movies. Take care.
Oh,